The Book of Jonah is a unique and well-known story among the minor prophets in the Old Testament. Unlike other prophetic books, which primarily contain the prophet's messages, Jonah is a narrative focused on the prophet himself and his interactions with God. It's both deeply theological and surprisingly humorous, revealing God's compassion and challenging human assumptions about mercy and justice. Jonah flees God's call. God commands Jonah to go to Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, to preach against its wickedness. Jonah runs away, boarding a ship to Tarshish in the opposite direction. God sends a great storm. Jonah admits he's the cause, and the sailors reluctantly throw him overboard. A great fish, often called a whale, swallows Jonah, and he remains there for 3 days and nights. Jonah's prayer and rescue. Inside the fish, Jonah prays a psalm of thanksgiving and repentance. God commands the fish to vomit Jonah onto dry land. Jonah preaches to Nineveh. God calls Jonah a second time, and this time he obeys. Jonah preaches a simple message. 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown. Amazingly, the entire city repents, from the king to the animals, and God relents from destroying them. Jonah's anger and God's lesson. Jonah is angry that God showed mercy to Nineveh. He waits outside the city, hoping it will still be destroyed. God causes a plant to grow to shade Jonah, then kills it, making Jonah even more upset. God uses this to teach Jonah a final lesson. If Jonah cared about a plant, shouldn't God care about 120,000 people in Nineveh? Themes. God's mercy for all nations. The book highlights God's compassion not just for Israel, but even for Israel's enemies like Nineveh. The universality of God's sovereignty. God is portrayed as being in control over nature, nations, and individual lives, from the sea and fish to pagan sailors and a foreign king. Repentance and forgiveness. Nineveh's swift repentance shows that God responds to humility and change, no matter who it comes from. Prophetic irony and human resistance. Jonah resists God's will even as pagans, sailors, and Ninevites respond positively. This reversal challenges religious pride and prejudice. God's character. The book emphasizes God's attributes. Gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, abounding in love. Jonah 4 verse 2. Echoing Exodus 34 verse 6. The danger of narrow-minded religion. Jonah wants justice without mercy and resents God's grace. The book ends unresolved, inviting the reader to reflect on their own attitude toward God's mercy. The Book of Jonah is a rich, surprising story that explores obedience, mercy, and the heart of God. It challenges believers to look beyond national or religious boundaries and embrace a God who loves all people and seeks their redemption. It's a story not just about a reluctant prophet, but about the scandalous wideness of God's mercy.